Hello, Ricky here from the other side of the pond. That's right, from England. Now, what do I love about Pancakes and Powerslam? Well, it is a great show. I do look forward to it every single week. I do enjoy it. And the host himself, Chris Featherstone, a great host. Lots of knowledge, lots of trivia, answers all my questions no matter how many I ask. And it's all around a really great show.
Tune in to the greatest wrestling podcast you will ever see. Pancakes and Powerslams, brought to you by the Dr. Chris Featherstone, where he will talk about wrestling of the week and the hot topics. Welcome to the most must-see podcast in all of sports and entertainment. He is Dr. Chris Featherstone, and he gets down and funky like a monkey, baby, if you will, every Tuesday night, roughly at 11:40 Eastern Standard Time, to talk about all things wrestling, baby. Tune in. Be there or be square.
Yeah. You already know what time it is. It's that official time. Where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the Powerslam pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Let's go! Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
Episode 465, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Chris Featherstone, and we are here live with Pancakes and Powerslam Show, live in the living color, getting funky like a monkey. If you will, baby, yeah, that's what we do, baby. Like I said, I told you, if you send me a video showing your appreciation for the Pancakes and Powerslam Show, I will play it. I will play it. And that's what I did. And that's what we'll continue to do every single week. So as long as you send me the videos, cravewrestling@gmail.com, I will play the videos on the intro of your appreciation for the Pancakes and Powerslam Show. So thank you to Ricky and thank you to Elvis for sending the videos. Great job, both of you. All right, you know how we do. Let's go. Ask Dr. Chris. To start with Ricky. Have I interviewed Hugo before? No, that's my first time interviewing Hugo Savinovich. For those who didn't know, before PNP, there's Unscripted, where I interview a big wrestling name every week. Actually, it's a Q&A, and then I throw some interview questions in there as well. Hugo Savinovich was the person who I interviewed this week, and it was cool. It was cool. He had a lot to say. I've not watched Young Rock yet. It is on my list to watch. The Chamber was meh. Daniel Bryan winning just to get decimated by Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns should decimate everybody, but Roman Reigns did not have to compete at Elimination Chamber. It was unnecessary. You did all that just to have Roman Reigns do that. Now, I know the purpose is to make him hot, make him look hot, but yeah, it wasn't necessary. I think Lashley wins the title next week, or are we really going to have The Miz as champion of Fastlane for the first pay-per-view on Peacock? No, we're not. What a terrible way to introduce the fans to the WWE Network. No. I think we'll have The Miz as the challenger, perhaps. I say we may have I'd say like a triple threat, perhaps. I mean, not a triple threat, but a handicap match. Similar to what they did to Braun with Miz and Morrison when they did a handicap match at a pay-per-view for the title against Braun, which is odd. I wouldn't be surprised they did it with Lashley. But yes, Lashley's going to win it on Monday. He's going to win it on Monday. I was just having this conversation. I was at the gym tonight with a good friend. It's about time. Lashley will be 45 years old this year. So at 45 years old, he's going to win the WWE Championship. So, he'll be 45 in a few months. So, 44 years old, winning his first WWE Championship. That's, better late than never, I suppose. And he deserved it, and he's been deserved it. He deserved it a long time ago. A long time ago. And so, about time is how I feel about it. But this is one thing I was saying before. And this is, along with the thoughts of Miz as WWE champion. I think it sucks. I understand it's for the purpose of transitioning and getting the case away before the next Money in the Bank. But I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan because you have to think about all of the times that Miz looked like an absolute wimp to Damian Priest and to Bad Bunny and to others, Keith Lee and whoever you want to add over the past few months. Over the past number of years, actually, the Miz does not look like a top player. He's not been booked as a top player, as a top guy. He's not at all. Has he been booked as a top guy? But yet and still, he is the representative of the WWE. He is the highest name in the WWE at this point. He is the WWE champion. The top guy in the WWE is someone who lost to Damian Priest a few weeks ago, and he gets whipped around and like nothing, like a nobody to Big Bunny. So that's the representative of WWE. And that is very indicative of the WWE's current product is the way that Miz is being booked overall. So I hope that Bobby Lashley just decimates him next week, and he'll be champion. And that's the problem. Like I said, I was having this conversation. The problem with WWE is that WWE does a terrible job building stars and keeping the build lasting. Everybody feels transitional. This Lashley win, it's going to feel transitional because he's going to lose to Drew McIntyre. And so Miz, transitional. Like WWE does such a terrible, horrible job actually keeping the equity in stars. It's absolutely horrible. Everybody feels 50-50. Everybody feels transitional. It's just horrible. Terrible, as Charles Barkley would say. Elvis is asking, how do I think Sting will fare in a match coming up? It's bells and whistles. It's one of those things that I think the AEW did a good job. One, making it a gimmick match, so it's a street fight, so he can use his bat and anything else. So there's a lot of bells and whistles that surround this match to protect Sting. So I think that's a good idea. It's and two, which is maybe even more important than one. It's a tag team match, which is really good too. It's just not a Sting thing, which is good. And his tag team partner is a daredevil. It's Darby Allin. It's the TNT champion, someone who's young and ripe and hungry and just ready to go. So if there's any good option to team Sting with for coming out of retirement, from 5 years later, it would be Darby Allin. So Darby Allin he's not afraid to take bumps. He's totally fine with taking bumps. Darby would take the bumps. Although somehow it was a good idea for Sting to take a power bomb bump. Somehow it was a good idea for Sting, who had to retire because of his neck 5 years ago, to take a power bomb bump? Okay, one, why did someone book that? Two, why was Brian Cage okay with that? I imagine he's like, okay, well, this is my job. I got to do what I got to do. This is what I'm told to do. I get that, but I would be hesitant. And three, most importantly, Sting, Steve Borden. You will be 62 years old in less than a month. You had to retire 5 years ago because of a career-ending buckle bomb. Why are you taking a power bomb bump? For the life of me, I don't understand. Yes, Ricky Lashley deserves it. I agree. He deserved it a long time ago. 100% deserved it a long time ago. Like I said, this is transitional, but I'd rather be a transitional champ than no champ at all. So he can add WWE champion to his much-deserved resume. And finally, at nearly 45 years old, he's going to be WWE champion. He better be WWE champion. Good evening, Alonzo. Always good to have you. Never met The Miz. No, he is awesome in person. Yeah, I heard. I've heard. I know. I know people who work in the WWE who are top names. They have good positive things to say about The Miz. I like the Money in the Bank concept still. I don't think it should be a pay-per-view. I don't think it's necessary to make it a pay-per-view. The only perk about it being a pay-per-view is that it's a pay-per-view on a down season of WWE. Usually the May, June, July season in WWE is the down season. Late July, early to mid-August builds up to, so you got the, month before SummerSlam to build it up. So typically May, June, and early July. So that season is the lowest. Mid-July, early, like second or third week of July, you start getting into building SummerSlam. So having it in a down season in WWE, I think it's cool. I think it leaves some anticipation as to who's going to win it, which I'm cool with. But at the same time, I just think, I just don't like gimmick pay-per-views. That's why I miss the Vengeance. I missed the No Way Outs. I miss those pay-per-views. I don't like the fact that we're just getting gimmick pay-per-views now. I think that's a terrible idea. I think you have a gimmick match. A gimmick match should be built around, look, we had a singles match. This feud is intensifying. Money in the Bank is, hey, look, you all have an opportunity. You have a year, so on and so forth. And a Money in the Bank match is necessary to make an establishment at this particular pay-per-view, at Vengeance, so to speak, or whatever it is. But just continue to make gimmick pay-per-views. I think that really lessens and devalues the potency of gimmick matches. Right now, gimmick matches is being very, very poorly booked, and the interest is lacking. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, it happened. Yes, the WWE felt that it was a good idea to book Otis as the Money in the Bank winner last year. Okay. I'm doing well. Thank you much. Yes, it's going to be Drew or Lashley. Lashley's going to win. They want Drew to win with fans. They want him to have that big moment. Rhea Ripley is one of my. She's like probably so my top 5 female wrestlers. Period would be. Oof. I'd say Bianca Belair, Naomi, Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and Ember Moon. Actually switched. So let's say this again. Bianca Belair, Naomi, Asuka, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley. Those are my top 5 in that order. So I think what they'll probably do, somehow Charlotte's coming out of WrestleMania as the champion. Either they're going to kind of push her to the moon, which WWE just doesn't do a good job at that. I mean, nowadays they don't. And put her in a feud with Charlotte to, carry on from last year. Now she's the one chasing a title. Charlotte was last year. Or they're going to put her in some other feud with like Nia Jax or something like that, which I think would be actually pretty cool. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. So yeah, I think that's what they're going to do with her. But I can see Charlotte winning. I can see Charlotte being Asuka at Mania and then Rhea and Charlotte. I'm tired of Charlotte being Asuka during Mania season. Terrible. I agreed. I agree with that. Much better than the Chamber card. Totally agreed. The Miz not get slapped by Bad Bunny on the pay-per-view. Yes, the same pay-per-view. The same exact pay-per-view. Slapped around by Bad Bunny. And then they put the top title in all of WWE by someone who got slapped by an outsider. Crazy that Drew wasn't even on Raw and even tried to get his rematch. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the Legion of Raw podcast, the Raw After Show with Vince. I mean, I said that if you would think about booking this in the way of the Attitude Era, Drew, they would have they would have basically spent the time around what is Drew McIntyre going to think about getting just pummeled and ragdolled by Bobby Lashley, and then the Miz taking advantage of that. What is Drew McIntyre going to do? What is going to be his reaction? We know he's going to be so upset. He's going to be furious. What is his reaction going to be? So what you do is you have, and probably in the middle of the show or toward the end of the show, you have this Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Okay, if you do that, have Bobby win. Have somehow the Miz come in and Braun Strowman gets some type of, he gets his energy back. There's somehow there's wrestlers that come in and pull apart, and then all of a sudden you see a big, you see like a Ferrari, a black Ferrari drive up, and you skid. Drew McIntyre comes out and he just takes a beeline straight to the ring. All of a sudden, boom goes Strowman, boom goes Miz, boom goes Morrison, Claymore. Just like that's when you need Joey Ryan instead of saying Stevie King, Claymore to the Miz, Claymore to Braun Strowman, Claymore to Bobby Lashley, Claymore to John Morrison, Claymore. So it's like just Stevie kick everybody, but Claymore style. And the Raw goes off the air with Drew basically coming out and getting his revenge. And then if you want to keep him out next week, because he's been banned from the building, that protects Drew McIntyre's character because he came out, boom, 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 boom. Drew gets banned from the building. All of a sudden, you get The Miz, the Morrison against you name it, as far as a main events, the Riddle and Keith Lee or whatever. And so what you do is you have at the end of the match, you have Drew McIntyre come from where the LED lights is. Boom, Claymore the Miz. Boom, Claymore Morrison. And then by that time, you know, he's back out. You know what I mean? And so just he has and because of that, he broke the ban, and then he has to stay off for 2 weeks. So I mean, and that gives a way to give Drew McIntyre an opportunity to, you know, have that time off because we're anticipating his return. So, you know, hey, you were supposed to be banned for today. You still came. Now you're banned for 2 weeks. That takes us further into March. That is, and then all of a sudden the ban is lifted at this Raw. And so the ban is, they just say 2 weeks. They just say the ban is lifted in 2 weeks. Lashley gets his moment at Fastlane, comes out, and then the next day he brags. Drew McIntyre comes out, aims for Lashley MVP, somehow gets the Claymore instead. Lashley is able to hightail it out of there. That protects Lashley and Drew McIntyre. WWE, if you heard that, go ahead and pay me for it. You're welcome. Great questions, guys. Oh, this is a good one. Ooh, Fantasy 2021 WrestleMania card of matches. Oof, that's good. That's going to take some time to think about. Sit back. I just sit back on that one. Ideally, let's do for the WWE Championship. I'm cool with Lashley versus Drew, but ideally, I would have wanted Brock to come back and go against Drew. But for the sake of, I would much rather see, because I want Lashley to be a babyface. So honestly, I want babyface Lashley against heel Brock. I wanted Brock to win. Ideally, I would want Brock to win the title, and then Lashley win it as a babyface. I would do a Drew Braun program. It's easy to do because Braun interfered with Drew, getting the championship. So easy build there. I would do for the Universal Championship. I would do Rock and Reigns. I predicted that from a while ago, but that changed. I would even be cool with Drew versus Cena. Actually, I prefer Drew versus Cena. It doesn't have to be for the title. It gives Drew a big spot. And so, yeah, that's that. I don't care about Edge being in the main event match with Reigns. I would have much been more interested in an Edge and Christian reunion. So, Edge and Christian, they go one more time for the tag team championships against the Dirty Dogs. Then you have a tag team turmoil match. with both Raw and SmackDown teams. Winner gets to choose it, whatever tag team title they want to be a part of. Street Profits, Lucha House Party, Dominic and Rey Mysterio, that gives an opportunity for a bunch of people to get spots. I would have Karrion Kross against Finn Balor. I would have the NXT Championship represented at WrestleMania. So I would have Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor. I would have. I'm okay with Bianca versus Sasha. The only thing is, I think that Bianca should have won against a heel, just because she looks like a fangirl around Sasha. But Bianca's my favorite WWE. She's my favorite. She's my favorite female wrestler. Period. I mean, in all of pro wrestling. But I don't like the fact that they had her around Sasha, come out like with Sasha's music at the pay-per-view. She looked like a fangirl. I didn't like that at all. Again, it's WWE doing such a terrible job building stars. You just had someone to win the Royal Rumble who is the it factor, has everything, has the mic work, the athleticism, the awesome entrance, the gimmick, everything, and you have her look like a fangirl against Sasha Banks. I'm not a fan of that. But there's not enough strong heels on the roster. I mean, if anything, maybe Nia Jax or something to build her properly. And so the gimmick would be, can she do the KOD to someone as big as Nia Jax? So yeah, for the women's tag team championships, though, if yeah, so I guess I'll do, just because that's difficult. Just because you do, see, I don't want Sasha to keep flipping from face to heel, though. Although if Sasha was a heel going into this match, it would be better because because Bianca needs to chase a heel to me. It's her first moment. I mean, there's more. I think that's it for now. There's other ones. No, I don't see Drew interfering in the title match. I don't think he should. Why is May, June, July the down season? Because that, like I said, it doesn't really anticipate much. You have usually that season isn't necessary. It's just filler pay-per-views. There's not. I mean, April is Mania, so you just it kind of dies down from then. It's just, I mean, typically it's, other than baseball, typically when you think of baseball, that's really the only summer, sport in the States. Hockey's in the fall, basketball's in the fall, football's in the fall and winter, college football's in the fall, in winter. So baseball is it, really. I mean, soccer, but soccer's not necessarily soccer's, more European. I mean, there is MLS. And speaking of MLS, the Columbus Crew, held it down. We won the MLS. We won the MLS Cup, Columbus Crew. So shout out to my hometown for that. But yeah, I mean, that's typically the driest season in WWE. Chad, what do you think about Impact this time? They're starting to get some better guys in there. Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, Brian Myers, or what is it called? What is he called? Bad Boy Brian Myers now. Heath Slater, though he's hurt at the time. I've been following Impact off and on. I got back to following him lately. I watched No Surrender. I don't know. I mean, just Dreamer versus Swan to me just doesn't ooze main event. I know that Moose looks like a $1,000,000 now. He's ripped. He's like in the best shape of his life now. I think Moose is underutilized, man. This heel run for Moose is just really, the fake TNA championship. I'm not a fan. I liked when he was a babyface better. Not a fan of heel Moose. They're trying to do some things with Brian Myers and Matt Cardona as far as friends, but not. And Cardona just got pinned. Yeah, surprisingly that early in him coming. It's good to see Daivari back, man. Daivari's my guy, buddy of mine. Good to see him back in a ring. He looks like $1,000,000 too. There's other people that are just not being utilized. They're not really stars. They don't just feel like stars. It just feels like good matches, and it's really about it. So, yeah, it's okay. 100% agree. 100% agree. It should be the highest stake match at the end of a rivalry, period. Almost and Reginald, hit or miss for me. Reginald fighting in women's matches. Nah. Almost should not be with AJ Styles. I think almost should be with someone like Elias or something like that. Idea like a Duffy and person Nathan Elvis. I think he did a pretty good job. Yeah. I agree. Otis being a heel is just horrible. Ooh, top 5 women's wrestlers of all time. Lita is my first all-time favorite. I have to look at a list for this. I always liked Rock and Robin back in the day. And I gotta find out. I gotta look at a list. As far as all time. Let's see. I'm going to look and see my all-time. I have to look at a list to see. I was just really only a Lita person. Jazz would be 2. Definitely Jazz. It's good to see her back, and it's good to see her in Impact Wrestling too. I'm gonna look at the list of women's champions just to kind of refresh my memory of jogging of who I like. Jacqueline. So let's do Lita, number 1. I don't know, man. I was a big Wendy Richter fan back in the day too. Probably not in a particular order, but I would say Lita, Richter, Rockin' Robin, Jazz, and Jacqueline. Yeah. I think Naomi has an opportunity to get there as far as all time. I think she's on the deck. She's on the deck for sure. Oh, let's see what we got. Got time for a few more Ask Chris questions. Ask Dr. Chris questions. Thank y'all. Yeah, I'm not sure about the, it is rumor of Undertaker wanting to come back for one match. Yeah. No, I heard, that's the no, I don't see WWE working with other promotions that they could be equal to. Like they'll work with Evolve and like ICW. Like there's some stuff, there's some European promotions on the network, but good old JR, he's a WWE guy through and through. He was there for decades. Why they got so bad? Because they got the money rolling in, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes success can breed laziness. Good question. AJ. What about AJ and Almost versus the New Day or something? Just something. I just don't see a direction for AJ Styles right now. See, if it was me, I would do like this is where you put the I would do like a ladder match. I would do a ladder match for or I would do a multi-person US title match. That's what I would do. Like a 6-man US title match. And I would probably make it a ladder match, actually. So I would do Riddle, AJ. I mean, again, a good way to use their talent. Riddle, AJ, Hardy. Oh, goodness. Who else do you put in there? Riddle, AJ, Hardy, Braun. Probably like a Sheamus and a maybe a Ricochet or something like that to have six people. Yeah, I talked about that before. I thought it was me. I thought it was ugh. I mean, it was just yeah. I wasn't very intrigued watching it. I think that it's horrible talk. That's subjective. It's funny how people make objective comments to a subjective fake list of female wrestlers. So guess what? Your comment is deleted. Yes, delete. And I guess he doesn't know how we do it here in the PNP Nation. And if you don't know, you can get out. Thoughts on Riddle becoming? Yeah, that was a Keith Lee thing. That was a Keith Lee. It was supposed to be Keith Lee. They put on Riddle. I like Riddle, but they have made him look like an idiot. So not a big fan of that decision. I would keep my journalistic composure. But I would definitely mark out inside. Yeah, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see Kane as a heel now, and if that would make him a heel again. And no, I'm not interested in that. I'll be okay with Priest versus AJ at Mania. That would be a way to give a good spot for Priest. if he returned, William Ricketts against, I love to see Taker beat up Matt Riddle, especially since they had an online beef of sorts. If Taker had one more match, I would have him go against Brock Lesnar to somehow atone the streak. I would love to see Taker versus Brock at Mania so I can get my streak back, so I can rewrite the streak. And somehow it's like, you know what? If I win, I can get my streak. I can get my loss back. But actually, he lost against Roman Reigns, so he's lost twice now. So, do I think Morrison would turn on him? No, because that means that Morrison would be a good sixth person, but no, because that would make the Miz a babyface, and I'm not interested in that right now. No, because that would have, because of COVID, travel's just it's just a mess. So, I guess. I guess. Molly's up there too as one of my favorites. So I think I really gotta spend some time. I really doesn't have much of a favorite. I know Lita's my all-time favorite. Molly Holly's up there is my top 5. Jazz, Jacqueline, Molly, Lita, and if I had to boot somebody, probably Wendy Richter. I don't know. I just remember liking Rock and Rob and Wendy Richter back in the day. But, I was just filling them in. But, I've always been, Jazz, Jacqueline. I couldn't stand Jazz as a heel, but, she was a heel for a lot of her time. But, I always wanted, she was a very successful Black women's wrestler, and she really she was one of the people who paved the way for Black women's wrestlers, so I respect her for that. But as far as people who I liked, who I really enjoyed, Lita, Molly Holly, and I think the other people that I said, I don't remember. Wendy, Lita, Molly. Yeah, I guess that's really it. Yeah, that's really it. Like I said, Naomi will be up there. I can see her being one of my top 5 all time, but we shall see. Bring back the hardcore title. Hardcore, I'll let us know. Probably not. I think at the end of the day, can't have shots to the head. So they'll probably do the 24/7 stuff. I do think we're going to get Braun versus Strowman at Mania. The next question should be, do I care? The answer is no. Michigan's legit, man. That's the thing about college football, college basketball. It just the stakes aren't as high as in a loss as college football is. Now, if that was college football, it'd be a whole different feeling than college basketball. Either one of them could be a number 1 seed, and either one of them could win the tournament. A loss in the regular season with either of them, they can lose for the rest of the season. They'll be in the tournament. They'll both of them are very, very good. So very impressively very good. Now, as far as college basketball, I'm a Duke fan, but I'm Ohio State through and through. My college basketball team is Duke, and Duke just stinks this year. Although we're on a bit of a streak, we looked very impressive against Syracuse this week, and we beat Virginia. People weren't expecting that, and we beat them by 1 point. And we stomped on Syracuse, which is a decent team this year. So, yeah, That was great to see. All right, let's see. Got time for a few more. Lovely then Gil Kim, very much. Sweet Sapphire, baby. She really wasn't much of a wrestler. She was just my main. She was just my main go-to. She wasn't even my main squeeze, baby. She was just Sweet Sapphire that came with the son of a plumber, baby. I had to make sure that I went to go see Sapphire, kind of pull her from what she was doing. And I said, you know what, baby girl, you want to have your opportunity to be with the best of the best here in the WWE, baby. You want to be with the polka dot man, baby. You want to be with the master of the polka dot. I made polka dot look good, baby. And you with your so sweetness, baby. Sapphire, baby. Come on with it, baby. I need somebody to help me take away that scary, sensational Sierra against the Macho King Randy Savage, baby. And I can't think of anybody but Sweet Sapphire. Sweet Sapphire, baby. Sweet Sapphire, baby. Sherry Martell's one of the greatest of all time. She was just never one of my personal favorites because she was a heel. Never been into Trish. I mean, she's one of the greatest of all time. If we were doing a 5 of the greatest of all time, a top 5, not a personal top 5, Trish Stratus would definitely be up there. But I just was never really big on Trish. I mean, she was fantastic, but personally, was never really big. Never really a big Trish fan. All right, baby. I think that's about it for tonight, baby. Hey, but listen, send your videos to cravewrestling@gmail.com. As you see, I will play them at the beginning of the show. Only thing you gotta do, baby, is just send them to cravewrestling@gmail.com. I had a bunch of Fastlane pay-per-view trivia too. We'll wait for that. cravewrestling@gmail.com. All right. cravewrestling@gmail.com. Send your videos there. Right there. Send your videos right there. cravewrestling@gmail.com. And it's a 30-second video of appreciation, how much you appreciate me and the Pancakes and Powerslams Show, how much fun you have. Only need 30 seconds of your time. It's fine. It's good. As you see with Ricky and Elvis this week, the more you send them, the more I'll bring them in and play them throughout the week. Now, I can't promise that I'll play your video the same week you aired it, but what I do, it's kind of like a first come, first serve. I'm going to play 2 to 3 videos a week. And the first 2 or 3, I'll play them. And then I'll have the other ones on deck for the following weeks. So send it to cravewrestling@gmail.com. We did have some new patrons coming up that was able to join. So thank you for the new patrons. I believe Jody was one of them who became a new patron. So thank you so much for the patrons. Like I say all the time, this right here, this thing that's scrolling here, you patrons, you is what keeps this show rocking and rolling. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. It's only $1 to support. And then if you want all the perks, it's $5.99 a month. 3 months, you get a shirt. 6 months, you get a personalized shirt, and you get eligible to have a Q&A. So, I have Ask Dr. Chris. I do this every week. Ask Dr. Chris. And so it will be your night to do a Ask You as a part of being a patron. So thank you so much. Very much. Very much. You're welcome, Elvis. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Always. I did like your promo. It was fun. Good stuff. Mount Rushmore, Charlotte, Trish, Mickey, Lita. I would say as much as as much as her flack is very bad nowadays, I would say Moolah would be up there. I would say Trish is up there. I would say Sherry and Lita. I wouldn't consider Charlotte a Mount Rushmore yet. Perhaps when she retires. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another fun episode, as always. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone. Until next week, enjoy your week's wrestling. God bless. And always remember, baby, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.